All my friends got stick cases, yeah, I'm praying for them. I'm the shooter now, I won't let a hand land on. I've been raised by Marines, so you know the shot is Jason Bourne. God took my grandma, then my heart is still torn. Views from the land, I can see the hustle.
Views from the land.
Hey, welcome back to Views from the Land. I'm your host, Big Slave. I'm here today with a special guest. He's a father, entrepreneur, a businessman, a hustler, a car connoisseur. God damn.
Seriously.
Hey, he built a brand from the ground up. He the founder of 313. I'm here today with my guy, 313 Fame.
My dog, man. You got it, man. Thanks for that introduction, man. I appreciate it, man.
I'll take that from you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Let's see if we can prop that. No, matter of fact, we sitting right there. It's cool. So yeah, brother, man. Hey, this is a beautiful small car collection in here, bro. Y'all can't see all the cars, but this right here is just crazy right here. What even got you into cars?
Man, Detroit raised me, man. Detroit raised me, dog. And I think growing up, you know, I was born in 79.
Yeah.
So this is 78 right here. But growing up in the 80s, you know, these cars were the cars that you seen. So like now, you know, Challenger, Chargers, what you see everybody, all the kids want, they got. Back when I was coming up, it was these cars. And so, you know, we always was infatuated, you know what I'm saying, with the idea of having a clean classic because, shit, our parents had them, you know, everybody had them. And that was it, man. When I was younger, you know, you had to have a car like this, you know what I'm saying? You had to be getting some money.
You had to be getting some type of money.
You had to be getting some money. So for me as a kid, I just, in my 15-year-old mind, I'm like, when I get enough money, I'm going to get me a car like that. And so this is just kind of like a dream fulfilled in that sense, you know what I'm saying? Goal knocked off. Yeah.
That's hard. So I know we used to call them shit slabs back in the day.
Yeah,
Did y'all call them slabs?
No, you know, it's
what
what was interesting is
or
different makes and models have different nicknames. So obviously you got like a box Chevy, right? That's a box. Then you got like your Dunk. Your Dunk is like a 70 through 76 Impala or Caprice. Slabs was typically referred from the down south dudes talking about the caddies with the with the big rims. But them was referred to as kind of like slabs. But man, we call them whatever. You know what I'm saying? They you know, in Detroit, you know, we invented this shit. So
we did.
So they just old schools us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah. And I can't help but notice like the storefront is like a garage.
Yes,
you feel
sir.
me?
Yes,
so
sir.
Was that still like inspiration behind like cars and all that?
Well, yeah, for sure. So when I designed this building, I got this building back in 2018, and it was, you know, it used to be 2 storefronts that had sat vacant for like 20 years. So it was all tore up. And when I was designing how I wanted the store to function, I already knew I was gonna put a garage door on it because, as you know, to go back as a kid, you know, I've been making and selling clothes since I was a kid. So a lot of the stuff that you see is ideas that I had in my mind for a very long time. And as a kid, I always wanted to have my car where I lived. I don't know if I seen a TV show or something. I don't know if it was a TV show or when I was a kid or something, but you know, the car was like in the living room.
In the living room.
Yeah. And I was like, man, that's hard. I'm gonna do that
so
too.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that too. So when I got the opportunity to design the storefront how I wanted it, I left everything open on purpose, no walls, no nothing like that. And I put the garage door up so that we could intentionally display cars in the store.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like I kind of think like that a little bit too, like having that car in the living room. I got a motorcycle in my living room.
Yeah, see, that's hard. I love that.
I just got it parked right there in the corner.
Yeah, that's hard. I love it. You got a loft?
Yeah, I got a loft.
Okay, That's dope. You know what I'm saying? I always grew up like, you know, thinking the idea that was dope. Obviously, I don't live here, but I'm here enough hours to feel like I live here.
You live here for sure. This your second home.
Yeah, for sure.
100%. Yeah. So growing up in Detroit, what side was you raised up on?
So when I moved to Detroit when I was 6.
Okay.
I was born in Buffalo, New York.
Oh.
And I moved to Detroit when I was 6. We lived on Stoughton. Yeah, Buffalo, New York. It's like 4 hours away from here through Canada.
No, I'm here.
And so. And you know, not to get too far off to Buffalo, but Buffalo, if you've ever been, it's like half the size of the east side.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, it's
just
like
half
that.
The side of the
it's
east
super
side?
small. It's probably about half the size of the east side. It's super
so you
small.
remember anything like from Buffalo before we
I
get
got
into the Detroit side?
Yeah, not a whole lot, but you know, kid, yeah, for sure. Like, you know, the snow. I definitely remember the snow was crazy.
Come on now.
We used to get so much snow. I was smaller, obviously, as a kid, so the snow would be taller than me. We'd be outside with, you know, on 6-foot snow mounds we done made just from shoveling our driveways and shit out. Yeah, so I remember the snow a lot. That's probably one of my prominent memories. You know, Detroit raised me, man,
Yeah,
so I've been
Detroit
here for so
is.
long. Yeah, but we moved on Stopel.
Stopel, okay, yeah.
And then I went to Davidson. And then we ended up moving from Davidson Elementary. I don't think it's there no more.
I went to Davidson.
So, wow,
bro,
that's crazy.
Preschool, bro.
That's crazy, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's there no more, is it?
I think it is. I think it's still standing, but I don't know if it's
right.
open.
Yeah. So then we moved to Schoolcraft area, Grand River Greenfield area, and on Foyer. So I grew up on Grand River Greenfield area pretty much.
Yeah.
High school, my old dude was downtown Lafayette Towers.
Okay, yeah.
So I was downtown. Yeah, I was downtown a lot. So really, the city, man. I got a young mama. She let me off the porch early. So the city, I grew up all around this.
Yeah, facts.
For real.
Yeah, so like growing up in the D, like I know it inspires you, like, and instilled, because we got resilience, coming from here, right?
Yeah, you got you.
What's one of the finest memories that stuck with you from growing up?
Growing up in the city,
or like
I got so many, man.
Yeah.
I got so many, man. I was the man. I'm the man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to toot my own horn, but my nickname is man. My nickname is man. Literally, like my mother nicknamed me man, and since a kid. Like I had my first job at 11 years old, and I had a job at the candy store.
Yeah.
So imagine an 11-year-old kid working at the candy store.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? I was the man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They all my friends. You know what I'm saying? Was trying to get the hookup. Everybody wanted the job. I was plugged in. So So I got a lot of dope memories as a kid just because I was always active.
Yeah.
I would say one of my fondest memories as a kid that helped shape what I do now is my brother. He airbrush. So my god brother, he ain't, it's like my dog. He 2 years older than me. He started airbrushing. That I would take the shirts to school and sell them.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of got into tees. And when we was kids, he was a part of this church, and they had like the church convention. And it'd be out of state, and it'd be like a lot of people from all over the country going to the convention.
Yeah.
And he would hit me. He was like, "Man, what's up, man? Let's go to this convention. I'm an airbrush. You can shoot pictures." I used to, back in the day, one of the hustles was Polaroid cameras. You take pictures in front of the backdrops and whatnot at the club, at different parties, at events, and then put the picture in the photo frame, hand it. So that's what I used to do. They used to airbrush the backdrops. I'd take them and I'd do backyard parties and all that. So he's like, "Bro, let's go out to this convention, man. I'm an airbrush. You can shoot pictures." And we was kids, man. I probably was 13, maybe. Shit. Yeah, I was probably 13, and the convention was in West Virginia, Charleston, West Virginia.
Oh,
and so I cut into my parents. You know what I'm saying? They like, all right. Like I said, they let me off the porch early.
Yeah.
And me and him went with like members of the church. We had our own hotel room. We set up our own vendor space at this convention, and we got it in out of town, man. He was airbrushing, I was shooting pictures.
That's
you know what I'm saying? We came
fire.
back. You know what I'm saying?
Up.
We came back like that.
Loafed
and
up.
It was a proud moment. So it was a moment that like, okay, I'm over. I can honor myself, and I can control my own faculties in the sense of like I can decide what I want to do and then do it. Because a lot of times when you kids, you like the idea is what you want to be when you grow up.
Type deal.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So you thinking as a kid like I can't really do these things till I grow up.
Yeah.
In a sense, but.
No,
my parents didn't raise me like that. Yeah, they like, all right, well, they asked me about it. I presented it like it was gonna be, and they let me do it. And I think it came back about $1,100, man. I'm 13 years old.
$1,100.
Yeah, that was like $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Then it's some small bills, and so I'm feeling like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I got $1 million on me. So, yeah, it was moments like that help let me know like, okay, you doing what you doing is adding up.
That's fire. Yeah. Let me ask you this. Is this somebody that you can give credit to with your growth and your development throughout life?
Yeah, man. Come on in, player.
Yeah, we live.
Come on in, player. Yeah, we live, but they got the dope editing going on. So I got a lot of people in my childhood that helped, raise me. Like I say, I'll keep saying Detroit raised me, right? Mm-hmm. And so my father, obviously, my mother, obviously. My godfather who owned the candy store, right? The man who owned the candy store, I self-appointed him as my godfather.
That's
fine.
And
he helped me a lot through business. He lived to be like 90 years old. When I met him as a kid, he was always old. So he was always imparting his wisdom to me growing up because after school, I'd be at the candy store working. So he taught me a lot about business structure, about money, because he grew up through the Great Depression. So, I don't know if you're familiar, but that's when money wasn't worth nothing.
Hell yeah.
And so he had a lot of different experiences that he imparted to me early. And then my father's from West Africa, he's from Ghana. So he was raised totally different than, growing up. And he's have always imparted different lessons to me that from his cultural perspective that has been different, that helped shape me too. So man, and then like I say, my mom, man, she was young. I had a teenage mother. And she was all about, like, if you can contribute, if you can hustle, if you can, whatever you can do it. You know what I'm saying? And it made her proud. So I didn't have that many restrictions growing up. She wasn't super strict. And, I was the kid that had candy sales in my driveway. Me and my friends anteing up so we can sell the candy, Kool-Aid and all that, putting the flyers up around the neighborhood. And she allowing it, in her driveway, at her crib. So, yeah, man, my parents, man, the community at large too, because I'm working in the candy store. So you got the parents and everybody coming through the candy store. They see me behind the counter working. They proud of me because they see me getting it in early, focused, disciplined, doing what I need to do. And so I grew up with the parents in the community too, and they help guide me and steer me and raise me. If they see me in the wrong places, I'm like, what you doing here? You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't, Yeah, so I was protected in that sense, man. Fox got arrested, so he owned a bar down the street from the candy store. He let me shoot pictures at the bar when I was 15. So I'm 15 years old, I'm in the bar with adults, and he protected me. You know what I'm saying? He made sure I wasn't taken advantage of, or, I wasn't exposed to nothing nefarious. So I got the whole city to help raise me, man, and it's not one in particular person. Obviously, I'm gonna start with my parents, but I done got love from the entire community since I was a kid. Yeah. And even the haters, even the guys who, they taught me lessons. That's how I've been able to stay alive and not go to jail and do what I do since 11 to I'm 46 years old. So 35 years of staying out the way. Yeah. The city taught me how to do that.
That's fire. Yeah. Like, just to even think about it, because like the 80s, like that's your era, right? The 80s.
Yeah, I was born in 79, so like in 89, I was 10. So I would say 90s. I would say 90s, my teenage years was more in the 90s. Well, but I grew up at the end of that crack era, like late 80s, where it was like, where guys riding around like this probably was selling dope,
Right, and that's exactly what I was getting at. Like, even in that era, you even having a mindset of picking up a camera. Yeah. And even doing that, because all I know growing up is either the streets or playing sports. Yeah. So for you to even pick up, I was gonna ask you that, like you answered it for me. I was gonna ask you like, what is like the different hustles besides the streets or doing sports or whatever like that. But you answered my question, like picking up a camera. That's crazy to even think about at that age. Yeah. Going to get money. So like, do you instill this into your kids today? Like you can be whatever you can be at right now.
No doubt. Yeah. My son, he make music. I identified that was part of his gift very early on in his life, and so I started putting him around, the guys who make music locally that do it on a professional level. That anybody that I got relationships with. So he done had conversations with all of the guys. Helliver and Beats, Nick Speeds, so many other guys, man. Yeah. So he 13 now. He probably got about 100, 200 beats that he done got cataloged. And so, man, I let him know, like, once I know that you're comfortable in your craft, then you can start monetizing this. But the idea is to set up your business structure, get your, they say ducks in a row, but what it really is just get your structure in place, your plan together, right? And then execute on a plan versus willy-nilly. And so since I got a little bit of, freedom to, I didn't have that freedom as a kid. I had to just get it however I could get it. But whereas with him, I'm teaching him actually like how to go in the business for yourself, which is a bit different. Yeah. But yeah, man, my daughter, she's at Xavier in Louisiana. Her first year, she's on the Dean's list, 3.5 average so far. And she just called me the other day telling me how the Dean wanted her to do an Instagram page. She got 25 people working for her to do the page. So I'm like, that's dope. You know what I'm saying? She set up chairs and board of directors and all this stuff. So the kids, they know that they manifest their life from their own thoughts. I taught them that earlier. Like, thoughts are things, and what you think about the most happens. Yes. So monitor what you think, make sure that you're studying what you want to become, and live in that, own that. So they got it, you know what I'm saying? They got it faster than I got it.
Right.
Big time. I'm here for you, man. Don't think I'm ignoring you. All right. Yep.
Oh yeah, you good.
Yep.
So, like the aspect of like your daughter's in school and your son like want to be an entrepreneur already.
Mm-hmm.
Is it pressure? Are you even putting pressure on him to go to school, or it's like, hey, if you get it right now, you get it right now?
Yeah. So, well, he already understands that, I can make money while I'm in school, right?
Yeah.
So the idea is like I got to go to school and then stop going to school to be able to, enterprise what I do. He passed that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't put a lot of pressure on them for anything. I kind of just do my best to feed into what they're naturally gifted at, and that's kind of, I think, is the way to rear or raise children, in my opinion. Because 100%. We humans at the end of the day. We're gonna do what we want to do.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I remember my mom might tell me to do something, I do something totally different or whatever. The idea is like identify what they're good at doing, what they like doing, what they naturally want to do, and then help them to do it better and better and better and better, so they can become masters at it early.
Yeah.
And then you have when you have a definite purpose and like I'm this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm a basketball player, I'm gonna be in the NBA. I expect to see you walking around dribbling the ball.
Basketball in your hand every day.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's
day.
kind of like that. You bear the fruit that the tree bears. That's how you know
100%.
what the tree it is. By the fruit it bears. What I'm trying to say. You can tell the tree from the fruit it bears.
Yeah, 100%.
And so I just keep pounding that into them. My daughter, she want to be a doctor. Okay, well, you got to do what doctors do. She got a 3.5. That's dope. But to get into pre-med school, you got to average a 3.7.
Right,
so you're going to have to step it up. I'm not pressuring you to. I'm just letting you know. She like, Dad, I know. This is my first semester. I'm locking in, whoop-de-whoop. So I think, we naturally, everybody want to achieve naturally.
Yeah.
It's kind of like knowing the people that's around you, that love you the most, care about you, have your best interest, and supporting you in achieving,
Yeah. That's fire. That's fire as hell. Just give them that opportunity to grow within themselves.
Yeah.
Figure it out, because like my last interview with Devin Gardner, like failure is a big thing. Like it's okay to fail. So go through them trials and tribulations.
Right.
And then figure it out. You might not want to make beats right now. You might be wanting to do the rapping.
Exactly.
So just figure it out, going through that, and you letting them do that. That's fire.
Yeah, I appreciate you for that,
Yeah,
man.
that's fire as hell.
I think we all want to be seen. We all want to be acknowledged. You know what I'm saying? We all want to be, propped up for what we do good, right?
100%.
And so that when it comes to community, that's what the store is about. That's what I'm about.
Yeah.
From on every level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I paying homage to the people that help me, to the brands that we carry, and expecting the same thing from the people that I, work with and
100%.
help. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can tell your 18 self something right now, what would it be?
Believe the hype. Believe the hype. Yep, I would tell
Believe
myself.
that's hard.
Believe the hype.
Believe the
Yep,
hype.
Believe
man.
the hype.
Yeah, this
believe
shit
the
real.
hype, man. A lot of times we have imposter syndrome. We might be thinking that, and it can work both ways, right? You can be overconfident, not have the skills to back up that, and then you can be like a master but not be confident in your ability.
Yeah.
And so when I was 18, I was doing my thing. I was definitely doing my thing. A lot of times you will shrink to the people around you too, like, you know what I'm saying, just to be accepted, because we all want to feel accepted.
Everybody do.
So I think I would tell my 18-year-old self, like, man, go harder. You know what I'm saying? Because I was so far ahead at 18 than my peers that I didn't feel the need to like separate myself completely.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, man, you got to really like, honor yourself in a way to where it don't matter about nothing else besides you meeting your end goal. And I think I could have done a lot faster had I been more like, putting that fire under my own self. Yeah.
Under your own self.
Yeah.
So what's something like one thing that the streets taught you and it like transitioned over to the business life?
Oh man, shit, a lot. When I think about business, especially in America, it was built on street shit.
Built on street shit.
Yeah, the way corporations are formed, everything. And so it's just a different version to me. But I would say, I will answer that question in a different way, right? I would say one thing that didn't translate, 'cause I think that's a better lesson. I think the better lesson is like, what didn't translate. And so in the streets, it's all about hand to hand. It's all about not really trusting nobody, never. It's almost kind of like if we exchanging something and I'm giving you something, you give me something, we almost doing it at the same time. You know what I'm saying? And it's all transactional. The streets are heavy on the transaction side of things. Whereas in business and in life, it's more relationship, it's more relational.
Yeah.
And so the better your relationships are, the bigger and better your transactions will be. And so in the streets, you know, we really not taught to like build strong relationships. We just taught to like have something worth the value, identify who need it or want it, and make sure that you transact in a way to where you don't get took, it don't get took from you. And yeah. And so, but business is a lot more than that, you know what I'm saying? It's way more than that. And the better the relationships, the deeper the relationships, the bigger the opportunities come.
Yeah.
You know, and the better relationships, the more the opportunities come. So I would say, you know, that's
kind of like we was just, me and my boy was just discussing, is who you know and not what you know type deal.
Well, yeah, it's a bit of both, right? They always say it's not who you know, what you know, but I would say that has truth in it, right? Two things can be true at the same time, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
But once it's who you know, it is about what you know.
You gotta know it for sure.
You gotta know something.
But because that should be all automatic though, if you coming in that field regardless, right? Yeah. But it's only so much of what you know can get you so far if you don't have
the relationships. You gotta have the who too. Yeah, it's both. It's like our body. It's a whole system, right? We can have a strong heart, but if our liver failing, we fucked.
We fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? If our strong heart and liver good, but the lungs, we kind of fuck. So you want to have a strong body in place when it comes to business, like, you know, your top 5 people, you know, being able to add value to them and they being able to add value to you. I really admire and respect you before I even was familiar with your platform, behind seeing how you work when you came to create content at that event.
Yeah,
so when you cut into me like, yo, you know, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, I'm like, for sure, because you're in action, right? You're doing it. You know, I get so many people who want to do things and want to start off with our story and stuff. It's like, no, that ain't how this go. You got to work. You know what I'm saying?
Work. You got to put the work in.
And I you know, and I admire young brothers that's working. Period. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been working since a kid. You know what I'm saying? I know that's what gets you there.
Yeah, I tell all my friends that you can't be mad if ain't nobody supporting it because you ain't out here working.
Man,
nobody see it. You have to be putting that work in for somebody to be like, okay, I see it. No, I don't mind helping him out. You know, and you can't feel offense to it if they're not helping if you ain't here putting the work in.
Flat out.
Period. 100%. So, do you think, while we speaking like this, do you think Detroit support their own enough?
It's never enough support.
Yeah.
However, I do believe we've come a very long way, and that's what's most important, right? Because it's never enough. It can be a day where everybody, and it's still gonna be like, how can we do more?
Yeah.
And that's the day. Since we even having this conversation, that get my blood going, right? Because that's what this business is about. That's what this brand is about. Amplifying Detroit, having a platform where we can work together and be proud of that and talk about that, right? And so, no, I don't think we're working enough. However, we have come a very long way, and I look forward to where we're going. You know, 313 Day coming up, man. People working together whether they don't want to or not. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big deal.
Speaking of that, 313. No, you know what? We're gonna save off of that because I want to touch on that when we get into the business aspect of it. But if you had $1,000 and 313 wasn't born yet, what would you invest your money in?
Today?
Today,
$1,000. What would I invest my money into?
and this for the youngins out there.
It's just $1,000 that I'm looking to invest into something.
Invest in something.
It will.
Or you think that will bring money back to you,
right?
Besides the streets, of course.
For sure. If it was 1,000, and you know, and it was like everything type of deal, I probably would align myself with somebody that I admire and respect that's already making money, and then try to add value to what they doing. So like, you know, if I know this guy is doing something legit that I admire and respect, right? So if I admire and respect it, it's not nothing nefarious and ain't no bullshit. So if the dude is doing whatever, and I know this dude killing them with that, I'd approach the dude and be like, yo, I see you killing them with this. I'm looking to get into business as well. How can I help you grow your business? You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to do, I've been watching you delivering this, or you doing that, I can help. You know, and I got some investment money too if I need it. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And then that impresses people. You know what I'm saying? That impressed people. If a guy walked through this door and was like, yo, man, I want to do exactly what you're doing, bro. You know, I've been watching you for all these years, and I got 10,000. I'm thinking I was going to start my brand, and I was going to ask you for advice, but I'd rather just give you the 10, and we can be partners somehow. we would be partners, just like that. And he would skip so
fire.
many steps.
Yeah.
So I would say put it where it's already working. Like if I got $1,000 and I don't know what to do with it, I would take it to somebody that's obviously they know they doing something.
And that you trust.
Yeah. So I can do myself too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can see where I can add, because your gift make room for itself. So if you see somebody doing something, like, I can do that too. I probably can do it better, or even just as good. Instead of being the competition of dog, go learn from dog. Yes, it's always collaboration over competition.
This might answer my question a little bit for the next question. Well, Detroit, we know, got a lot of talent in the city, right? But a lot of people don't really make it out. Why do you think that is?
Detroit, we're poached a lot. Yeah. So people from other places know the talent is here. They come here, exploit it, and take it back to other places. So Detroit is like whatever you want to call it. We're the place for this thing, right? It's just like the cars, right? Yeah. We build them here, but they're imported. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. That's the same thing. So people that know, especially creative talent, people that understand this in places where it's, crowded or it's a lot of high competition, New York, LA, these big cities, they come here, see what's popping, see what's hot, and then take it back to their respective places. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times we compete.
Never thought it that way.
A lot of times we compete over collab. So instead of us trying to work together to build something that's big enough so when somebody do come to infiltrate it, we're big enough to where it's like they just adding on to us. We compete, we work in silos, and then when the big guys come in, they say, yeah, I'm a producer here from LA or whatever, I'm making a movie, whatever, everybody be like, oh yeah, shit. They want to work with Dog, and Dog, kind of just take it and run with it.
Take our talent and get that.
Yeah, that's what it's been, you know what I'm saying? And for a long while, we didn't own our own talent. Like we didn't like our own music. Yeah. We would say, it sound like Detroit. Yeah, I don't want to wear, you know what I'm saying? Right, so now we're in this place. Yeah, now we play where other cities has validated our.
They're like, okay, this your or now.
So since other people validate, it kind of help us to validate it to a degree. So I think we're in a place now to where we're making it out more than we ever will. In the future, more of us will make it out. I think that narrative is kind of a past narrative, and it's a lot of, especially creatives that have made it out in a real way that we don't know about, that's not necessarily talked about above ground, that's working behind the scenes of every major artist that you know. Yep. Every major artist that you know got somebody from Detroit in their camp doing something.
That's 100%.
I don't care if they cutting hair, cooking, or creating, or setting up choreography, or writing music, or making beats, or whatever it is. It's because it's birthed here. That's what people got to. That's what we got to know, that Detroit is the birthplace of creativity. And that Detroit is the blackest city in America, and by default, it's the most creative.
Come on now, automatic, yeah. So you kind of touched on what 313 stands for, but if you can ball it up in one ball, what would you say like 313 is really?
Detroit's brand name. That's our tagline, Detroit's brand name. 313 is Detroit's brand name. I created it in a time where Detroit's name was shit. It was shit in people's mouth. They wasn't talking about Detroit. They wasn't happy to say Detroit. They was from Detroit. They wasn't representing Detroit. It wasn't about that. So my idea was use my gift, my skills in the branding and marketing and naming shit and reshaping shit. And I used the area code to say it differently. And I didn't want to say 313 because I knew at some point I had the vision that at some point everybody will say 313 eventually. And so I wanted a unique name. So I trademarked 313, which is a spin on 313. And it's just about representing the city, man. We're Detroit's brand name for a reason. And that reason is our store is a reflection of our city's pride, our city's spirit, our city's courage, you know what I'm saying, and our creative and collective value, which this is a display of right now, and I love this. This is the display of our collective value, you know what I'm saying? 100%. 10 years ago, it wasn't content creators running around trying to do interviews, and I admire and respect you for building your platform, brother, for real.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that. So if I'm a consumer, right, it's a lot of, I live here, it's a lot of 313 merch, right? What would make me buy yours over others?
So mine is ours.
Yeah.
And and this store is a platform for several brands, not just my own. And I did that intentionally. So it wouldn't be, because I knew it was bigger than me. And so what would bring you into our store versus another branded store will be a lot of things, our history. We started our brand in a time where, like I mentioned, city pride was at an all-time low. And we've worked every day consistently since then, 7 days a week, 7 years before we opened our first store. And this store, you know, 11 years now in retail. So 18 years every day straight promoting this idea that, you know, is value in Detroit's name. There's value there. And we need to exploit and amplify that value. Yeah. And so people gonna come to this store and they're gonna get unique pieces that they can't find other places from our brand and other brands. Yeah. They can get to check out the classics. They can shop on the Avenue of Fashion, which is a historic district in the United States, not just Detroit. And they can experience what Detroit culture is on a visceral level, like on a real level, without the, smoke and mirrors. Yeah. Like what it really is. Mm-hmm. You know, you never know who you'll see here. You know, the president's been here, mayors, governors, everybody. Yeah. So everybody. Detroit is a place. Yeah, our store is a place where the city really galvanizes and you know, engages in a real way. So I would say, just to circle back to your question, why would they mess with us versus other brands? Because we represent every brand. Yeah,
that's hard. Yeah. You did just mention that a lot of people come through here. Who your favorite that's been through here?
My favorite that's been through here.
That you were shocked to even be like, hold on, you know about 313?
Dang. That's a good question, man. Nobody never asked me that question. It wasn't so much shocked you know about 313. It was our first store downtown. Mm-hmm. And then I'm gonna date myself. I'm gonna shout out how old I am, but MC Light came through the store.
Oh my God.
And she just came in on her, but she was like, she came, first like one of her handlers came in the store and it's like, do y'all have a restroom here? I'm like, yeah. She's like, is it public? I'm like, yeah, no problem. And then she left right back out. I'm like, what was that about? Then she came in with MC Light. And MC Light, man, you know, I was a kid watching her perform and stuff, so I was a little starstruck. And she was like, you don't mind if I use your restroom? I was like, hold up, let me go make sure it's right. Ran in the restroom, but MC Light, that was cool. David Banner came through here. That was dope. That was dope because he came through here with the event that was all about Black empowerment. Okay. And so that was super dope. But yeah, I was, you know, it's hard to put a name on one person. Everybody's special to me, bro. Yeah. You coming through here is special to me. You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm really like that though. Yeah. And so I don't really know. Everybody's a VIP to me. Yeah. And that's what it's about, man. We've had people come through the store and I didn't know who they were until they, you know, introduce themselves as such. You know what I'm saying? That's always dope too. Like, so yeah, man. Mayor's been in here in disguise shopping one time. Like, it's funny, man. We've had a lot of action, but it's organic and it's genuine. It's not like they come in here for photo ops. They come in because they know if they come here, they're gonna be able to leave out with something that's Detroit authentic in a way. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy. Yeah. That's fire, bro. Yeah. Like to even imagine. Did you imagine it get this big?
I did, and I didn't. Right? Like you don't see all the details, right? But I've always known that if I created a platform that was organic. Yeah. And really rooted in amplifying Detroit from the community on up, that they will support. You know what I'm saying? I knew that. You know what I'm saying? And it took longer than I expected, but at this juncture, man, the city's on fire, man. Yeah. The city's on fire. Detroit love Detroit.
That's a fact.
And we not ashamed to say it.
Yeah. Wherever we at.
Yeah, right.
Wherever we at around the country, we gonna yell it.
I love it.
So you got a lot of beautiful pieces around here, bro. What was the very first piece ever created for 313? Do you remember?
Very first, yeah. Outside of the logo, we did three designs. The Spirit of Detroit, the 67 riots, which I later on learned was a revolt, not riot. Oh yeah. And we did was a Coleman Young design. And I did it in how I usually do my brands, where I put an image up and then I drop like a information tag about the image. Because a lot of images people not familiar with, or it's like a history on the image. And we put it in 4 Men at the time, had a store, Strictly Sportswear, and I forget the other store, But it flopped. Nobody bought it.
So let me ask you this. What's the one that put you on the map?
Detroit raised me, East Side raised me, the West Side raised me. Yep. More specifically, the East Side raised me. When I dropped that shirt, it went crazy. Everybody on the East Side was wanted it. Yeah, and then you know it's kind of, you know how that goes. I see if I'm from the West Side and I see you with the East Side shirt on, with the West Side shirt on, you know what I'm saying? So it was one of those things, and yeah, and to this day, that's our classic tee, you know.
Yeah.
I was taking a business class, and I love to say this on camera because, like I said, I don't never mind paying homage and showing where I get my inspiration and motivation from. I was taking a business class through Goldman and Sachs, and it was a bunch of big businesses to me. But there's a bunch of businesses in this class, second, third generation owners, businesses, like real legit businesses. And I was kind of like hustling. I was a hustler. I was the only one in here that was like trying to really figure it out. Everybody was trying to figure it out, but I was at the bottom, bro. They had credit lines, they had employees, they had shit, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have none of that, right? It just was me. It wasn't even self-employed, it was more like hustling. And so one day in class, but I make t-shirts. I have my own space where I'm making my t-shirts and all that. So, and I've been doing it for years. So, you know, I have a lot of skin in the game. That's why I'm in the class in this company. Yeah. But one day it was this class about Detroit or something. And I heard Detroit versus everybody 1,000 times, at least. It's like everybody kept, when they had to present or say whatever they was gonna say, they kept saying, just like Detroit versus everybody, Detroit versus, and I just zoned out in class, bro, just like a kid would. And I just started writing out Detroit designs. I'm like, up Detroit, down Detroit, left Detroit, right Detroit, Detroit won, Detroit lost. I'm just writing out, I'm just throwing it, just writing it out. And then I wrote out, Detroit raised me. And then when I wrote it out, you know how you like, Then as soon as I wrote that out, I thought, East Side, West Side. I wrote that, I'm like, done. And then I dropped it. And when I dropped the shirt, I dropped it in a way, because like at the time, DV, I'm super competitive. Them guys younger than me, I watched them come up. When they start coming up, I had sold 100,000 shirts worldwide. I've been in over 70 stores, 700 cities. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 700 stores through 70 cities. So I had so much experience, and but I was on my ass kind of when they was coming up, and I've seen it. I already had 313 trademark and was making merch, but I wasn't popping. Yeah. They dropped DVE. I watched the shit pop. I'm like, damn. Them boys, they doing it. Yeah. And so in this class, so that was always in my mind. Now this class is years later. They already got in the stores. Yeah, they a bigger brand. Yeah. They up. And so everybody kept comparing or referring everything they were doing to that. And when I zoned out and wrote down those and I came up with that, I dropped the shirt. And when I dropped the shirt, I was like, okay, I'm going to make it better than their shirt. And so in my mind, to make it better than their shirt, it's just like I'm going to produce it a better quality shirt, a different shirt, X, Y, and Z. So that's what I did. They got a 1-color design, I did a 2-color design. They got a 1-location design, I did a sleeve and a back print. Like I did what I did to one-up it. And I put it in the stores. And it went nuts. That's crazy. It went crazy on a real level. Like I didn't have to like get TV endorsements or get like celebrities to wear it. The hood fuck with it, heavy. And it wasn't my first time dropping a brand that the hood fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Like I mentioned to you just now, I had brands in stores all over the world before 313. Yeah. And so when it dropped and it did like it did, I ran it crazy. You know what I'm saying? I just did exclusive with one store, took over a whole wall, like maybe that big of a wall inside the store, and it was all Detroit, East Side and West Side raised me shirts. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And went crazy with it. So, you know, but it's real though. It was birthed out of it wasn't birthed out of how can I make some money? Yeah. It was like I got this brand.
It's in my head. It's
I got this brand. I got to really birth a design that shows what this brand is. You know, that's gonna get people to engage with the brand. Yeah. And that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? And it's been a classic ever since. And I haven't oversaturated it in a way like it don't stay in the store every day, all day. Sometimes we out of it on purpose because, you know, we'll play some shit out real quick.
Hell yeah, 100%. Yep. And I want y'all to take notice of the most important thing that he said and all of that. He was sitting down and wrote it out.
Yeah, you better write it out, make it plain, yeah.
When you write something out and you actually put eyes on it, it's a whole different ball game now.
For sure.
You know, so just doing that, I guarantee you, I already know that's what started it. That had to be.
Yeah, well, everything you gotta, you gotta get it out your head, man. 100%. You gotta get out your head on paper and then let it look back at you and all that. But them boys was on my head in class. I'm like, hold on, I gotta do something.
That's crazy. Yeah. So, crazy question: if 313 had to design a perfect car for your brand, what would it be?
A perfect car, like you mean like pick a
car?
Like
you build it and it's 313. That's your.
Well, that's kind of that's what I demonstrate through the classics, right? Yeah. we build these cars, we brand them. So all these cars got our logo in them somewhere, somehow. They are 313 branded. You feel me? Yeah. Either if it's in like, it's labels and the floor mats and the seats. Like I ain't gonna mess up the interview, but it's like in the door panels. But so I build these cars and brand them 313. I love classic cars. When I was growing up, Eddie Bauer had a licensing deal with Ford, and he did like Explorers and different cars. Cartier did something with like Lincoln. You had Nautica. Nautica did something with Mercury. So all these different fashion brands did Coach, and all these different fashion brands did collaboratives with automotive brands. Yeah. And so that has influenced my design, since coming up. So I apply that same thing through this as a demonstration until I attract Ford or Chrysler or GM, or I partner with them to do the same thing Eddie Bauer did, because that's ultimately one of my goals as well. As a designer from Detroit, to collab with one of the big three to do like a package, interior, exterior package. 313 branded. It could be a brand new car. Yeah, it could be a brand new car for sure.
Oh,
for sure. It could be a brand new car. I just demonstrate through the old schools because that's my, that's my passion. Yeah. But I can make anything dope. You know what I'm saying? I can design anything where it's like desirable.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So when people wear your brand, what do you expect them to feel when they're wearing that?
City pride, man. I think that's what it boiled down to. It boiled down to city pride, community pride, self-pride. Yeah. Right? Because, if you look around our stores, we got merchandise that's reflecting streets and blocks. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That boiled down to self, right? Yeah. It's like I grew up on this block. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of this block. So I would just, it's city pride, it's community pride. It's like representing where you from. And it don't have to be through sports, right? It don't have to be through all of the sport teams. You can represent Detroit without having the Tigers, Lions, Pistons, or Red Wings shirt on. I'm not opposed to that, but there's so many different ways to represent the city, right? And so I love exploring those different ways and partnering with and helping people that does that. Yeah. One of my guys, his name is Palmer Reed. He does a lot of our production on our merchandise right on the east side at his crib. And so he has a flat out, man, made on the block, bro. Like I really live this shit in a real way. And so, one of his designs say Detroit, but underneath it is sign language for each letter. So it's like Detroit in sign language.
That's hard.
And I thought it looked dope, so we would sell it. But then one day a customer came in that was deaf and was like, oh, and communicating how deaf people and was so excited. They grabbed the shirt and they was so excited, and they looking at me like, what? How you put this in here? Let's killing them. They wanted, I ended up selling them like.
That's hard.
You feel me? And so it's that type of thing, bro. It's like, how do you represent your city and where you from? Yeah, in a real organic, authentic way, not just slapping Detroit on some shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
And you adapted to different people's lifestyles.
Yeah. I mean, Detroit is multifaceted. It's colorful. It ain't just how I look at Detroit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Shit, you younger than me, you gonna have a different perspective. Yeah. I'm gonna learn from you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like the brand, when you came for the brand product, shout out to
K Reed.
Yeah, shout out to K Reed and Motive. Motive Jeans. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't familiar with the brand. Yeah. He came in here, he was like, look, this is what I want to do, this is how I'm trying to do it. He didn't have to talk to me long. I could see he had skin in the game. I could see he was really living it, because I've lived it since a child. So I'm like, come on, let's do it. I ain't making hard for him.
You ain't know K Reed before that?
I didn't know him before that, bro. I didn't know you before this. That's what I'm saying.
Hard. Yeah,
this how we build, though. Yeah, this how we build together, bro.
That's
organically,
hard,
dog, in a real way, because the sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? There's so much opportunity for us, man. When we look at it that way.
Yeah, when you look at it that way, for sure.
Right. Yeah.
So you already know we got 6-7 more days for 313 day. What you got planned?
Yes, sir. 313 day, man. That's our day, man.
313.
No, same difference. Detroit day, 313 day, man. Whatever we want to call it. Longest, you know what I'm saying? It is March the 13th, though. Yeah. So that's 313, technically. But no, man, people always ask, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And over the years, it grew from like real genuine like interest to like spying. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what y'all doing? So they could do, and I'm like, and I didn't really realize it till it was after, you know what I'm saying?
Like different.
Oh my God, man. Yeah. So what I've learned over the years is that like we are the event. 313 is the event. We don't really have an event planned because we are the event. People want to come here so they can get what they need to represent on that day, that weekend. period, and they know we got it. Obviously, we're gonna have food, we're gonna have music,
Customer
we're gonna have some sales and stuff. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But man, you never know who you see at 313, especially on 313 day.
Out.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, we just gonna be here, open early, close late. I always got drinks flowing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I always got deals. I like to bring out custom pieces and one-on-one pieces that I've done because, you know, I've been making clothes as a kid.
Yeah.
So I'll make something that one-on-one, you know, couple of these. And the people who've been shopping with me since I was a kid, I got friends that's been buying my shirts since middle school that still come shop. And so they'll come and they'll be looking for that type of thing, the unique stuff that they know everybody won't have. So I have fun, man, engaging community. Cameras always coming through here from different, you know, networks and stuff, and media, it's like a media day, man. So I'm just fortunate, bro, to be a part of it, you know? It's an ecosystem now, and it's so much bigger than me. If we close, God forbid, we close 313, they gonna go on. And everybody gonna be balling, so I'm just happy that we was able to spark something that even has lived like this, has grown to something like this, you know?
100%. What's one of the biggest lies social media tells about entrepreneurs?
I think lately what I've seen is the idea of scale. So like if you're gonna get in business, you gotta have a exit strategy as soon as you get in. You gotta have everything figured out, so how you're gonna have 1,000 locations or whatever. And it's not necessarily, some business can be a small business. You can go into business to have a small business and stay a small business.
Dutch girls.
You know what I'm saying? But the way social media kind of make it seem like you gotta have 100 this and 1 billion this, and you know, you'll get lost in the sauce trying to figure out how to, you know, multiply times 10x and 20x. When really, you know what I'm saying, sometimes enough is enough. 3 times is enough. You know, what I know is that I provide my community a service, and it's genuine to what they ask, what they want, what they expect. It's not just a bunch of shit that I think they should have in here. I'm listening to them. They like, well, you gonna do a shirt in this color? What about this? What about that? And so over the years, all these years, I've taken all this information from all these customers since 11 years old, making custom t-shirts, to now, and knowing what the people want to see out of us. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I don't necessarily have to have, you know, as long as our customers that come in here can feel that when they leave, then we won. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't necessarily about having 1,000 stores. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a big myth, or a big like misdirectional lie. Like, you don't have to scale at 1,000 times your speed or light to have a good life or a good business.
I feel like everybody over the world know about Dutch Girls Donuts.
And they got one location. And they might not, but it's just like that. They open up a new one though. They open up a new one, which is dope, right?
But that took over how many years?
But I'm just saying though, sometimes it's like that. You got community businesses, you got businesses that scale, and you don't necessarily have to.
It's a such thing as mom and pops.
Yes, and it's a value in that.
Yes,
that's my point, bro. That's my point, bro. It's value in that. I was raised at the candy store. You know what I'm saying? He had one location. The owner was there sewing into me. You know what I'm saying? That's value in that. If it was a corporate conglomerate and it was a McDonald's, and who knows if I'd have got the same kind of lessons, right?
There you go. They don't care about you because they know another one coming.
That's what I'm saying. So it's value in mom and pop and community stores. You know, I had one guy tell me one time, he was like, man, that don't matter. Your store don't matter. Everything going on the internet anyway. I don't need to have nothing to do with your store. Everything is about the internet anyway. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I hear you and I understand you, but it's bigger than numbers.
Hell yeah.
We bigger than just numbers and money, man. We human. We have real experience. You know what I'm saying? And if we just reduce ourselves to how much money we can make and like the numbers and the stats involved, then what the fuck is that? What kind of life is that? We all doing numbers on our level. You know what I'm saying?
100%. What do true success look like for you?
For me. For fame. Being healthy, being able to take care of my family, serve my community, and be happy doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's success to me. You know what I'm saying? Being healthy, being able to take care of my children, my family, my extended family, and being able to serve my community through this platform and take pride in it, because it ain't always easy. You know what I'm saying? It ain't always easy.
All right. Where do you see 313 in the next 5 to 10 years?
313 next 5 to 10 years. So 313 is Detroit's brand name for a reason. And I see the community having a greater access to it. And I see the community having equity in it.
That's fire. All right, before we get out of here, views from the land, what is one piece of advice you can give to young entrepreneurs or even any young kid that's coming up right now?
Nightmares are dreams too. I always say that, man. Nightmares are dreams too. So stick to the script, man. Stick to the script. You never know how far the Most High will take you. When we pursuing our dreams, we always think about the good shit.
Yeah.
We don't consider the bad shit.
Yeah.
But you learn a lot from the bad shit.
There you go.
And so nightmares are dreams too. Respect the nightmare just as much as the dream. Learn from them both and keep pressing forward.
Yes, sir. Views from the land. We got 313 fame here today. Thank you for coming,
man.
bro.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate you for coming.
Well, I came to you.
Yeah, I'm praying for him. I'm the shooter now. I won't let a hand land on him. Been raised by Marines, so you know the shot is Jason Bourne. God took my grandma, then my heart is still torn. Views from the land, I can see the whole city. See the clear, biggest hill, you know.